All right, welcome to the Lincoln Presidential Library in
Springfield.
Springfield, Illinois. And we're here with the first family, Abraham Lincoln. And this is the White House of the 1860s. So guys, we are here in the Presidential Library. That's the cabin where he was a young man. And we're going to be exploring today about the Presidential Library of the 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. So join us. All right, guys, so this is a replica of Lincoln's cabin and tells his early years outside the cabin near Little Pigeon Creek, Indiana. So he was born in Kentucky, then he lived in Indiana, and then eventually he came to Illinois. So when you hear, sometimes for my generation, previous generation, we would have Lincoln log cabins, and they would make cabins like this one. So let's see if we can go inside and record and see what happens. All right, so we're going inside the replica of Lincoln's cabin. Complete the worksheet and scan the QR code. Huh. Well, maybe to take something home, right? Let's go inside. And see what it's all about. Oh, so this is where he lived. Very small little cottage. You'd have young Abe reading. What do you think? Pretty cool, guys. Alright, guys, so this is another exhibit when Mr. Lincoln was debating for senator. And you can see Abe, very tall, 6'4", tallest president in American history, against Stephen Douglas. And well, history will show us who won. Mr. Lincoln. All right, this is the from the tomb of Abraham Lincoln's son that died very young. I think he was 3 years old, Edward Lincoln. So when Abraham Lincoln was moved into the tomb that he has right now, his son was moved, and this was in no longer use. His first son that died. So this exposition is slavery in America, guys, and some of these pictures are very impactful. Slave shackles, how they would sell people. And then you have the image over here. General store for Lincoln. And this is Abe. In the general store. Some of the things you could buy. Now guys, we're in another exhibit here. Here is Abraham Lincoln with his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln. And you can see the clothes of the era. What do you think of Mrs. Lincoln's dress? Does it look comfortable? I don't know. Alright guys, this is Lincoln's office, his law office, and the thing about it is that his kids were very unruly, like some of my students. And well, there's Lincoln. That would be Mr. Tova right there. And here are his children. Ink everywhere, and this is where it was located. And the thing was that they were so unruly that Lincoln's law partner, he wanted no more of it, you know, because of his very unruly children, the Lincoln kids. So, what do you think?
The four-way presidential race continues as the campaign of 1860 stumbles toward Election Day. To sort things out, let's look at the candidates' latest messages and the strategies behind their ads.
All right, so Lincoln wins, guys. Lincoln is elected. Let the people rejoice. And here we can see amongst the people President Lincoln addressing from the train. Can you imagine being there and listening to the great emancipator? Wow, really cool. And well, guys, Charleston Mercury Extra, an ordinance to dissolve the union between the state of South Carolina and other states, entitled the Constitution of the United States of America. This is the beginning of the Civil War. Now let's go into the White House and check it out. All right, so when you come out of the cabin, there's a theater here that you guys can come into. We're gonna have to wait until 3 in order for us to see it. And we're gonna go into the White House right now. And I think here are some of his generals. And, well, let's see who. Here we have Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth here at the White House. And over here we have General Grant, Ulysses S. Grant, and George McClellan. Now he would be a future president, and maybe we can go into his library one of these days. So let's head into the White House of the 1860s. All right, so when you go in, you have the dresses, Miss Crispy, of Mary Todd Lincoln. So would you want to wear one of these every?
She looks petite.
These are her actual dresses. Here's some of her other dresses of Mrs. Lincoln. Alright, so when you come in, guys, there's a huge painting here of Fort Sumter, where the Civil War began. And Lincoln had said he wouldn't start the war unless the South did, and they pretty much obliged. So here's a painting of that moment in 1861. Alright guys, these are some political cartoons of the era. President Lincoln. And some of them were not so nice to him. Alright. You can see when you guys come in, you're going to be able to see all these replicas of the political cartoons of the era. Something we're going to be studying in class this year. Political cartoons. So, wow, pretty interesting. And you can see them all over this hallway. Abraham, Africanus. Alright guys, so we see one of his children, President Lincoln's children that died in office. And here you see President Lincoln with the little boy's doll, and unfortunately he passed away in the White House. Now 2 weeks after he was inaugurated, the presidential ball, his son Willie died also, and well, the Lincolns were heartbroken, and here's a picture of him. Now, here is how Mrs. Lincoln coped with it. She was very, very depressed. Now keep in mind, she lost not only children, her husband, and then afterwards another son died. So she was filled with a lot of tragedy in her life, Mrs. Lincoln. I don't know how much you guys can see of this, but this is the White House kitchen. I'm pretty sure it's very different now. But this was the kitchen at the White House. Now we're going to the reaction after the Emancipation Proclamation. Here's President Lincoln with his cabinet discussing the Emancipation Proclamation. So, well, we're going to be studying about the Emancipation Proclamation, and you'll see why they were so worried. Alright guys, so there were different people. It goes too far, it doesn't go far enough. Don't sign it.
Perpetrated by the wicked, cruel, and unjust minions of Satan. As long as one of us is unfree, all are unfree. This proclamation can end this abomination.
Signing that Emancipation Proclamation would lead to more war, more death, and a dark future of chaos and barbarity, in which the end is beyond our imaginings. Do not sign that paper!
Alright guys, so this is how President Lincoln aged in 5 years. So this is 1860, 1861, 1863, 1864, and 1865. So you can imagine the level of stress that he was in. Pretty much all of his presidency was in war. Here's another exhibit, guys. All the soldiers that died. And re-election. 13th Amendment. And then we have the end of the war. All the way to Lee surrendering, General Lee, and his last speech. The war is over. Alright guys, so now we're getting to a very tragic part. That right there is John Wilkes Booth, 4th Theater, as he was about to enter to assassinate President Lincoln. So after President Lincoln was assassinated, this was his journey to his final resting place. He was embalmed, and he was taken by train. And that's where we're going to go next, to Lincoln's tomb. So here, guys, is a replica of President Lincoln lying in state at his funeral. And this is where we're gonna go after this, the Lincoln tomb, and see how it looks like in real life. So let's go out to Lincoln's tomb now. Alright guys, so we're gonna head to Lincoln's tomb, and well, this was a very different presidential library. What do you think? Did you like it, Miss Crispy?
I would do this one first of all the libraries.
Of all the libraries?
Yeah, because it's really a nice story with the ghost theater.
Yeah, guys, one of the things is that you guys have to see Lincoln's eyes, and the other one, it was incredible performances.
Goes from the past or goes from...
Yeah. And well, guys, this was very different. You know, there is no presidential car. There's no technology. It's a story about a very humble man that ended up being the greatest president that the United States has ever seen. That's my opinion. He normally ranks at the very, very top. It's called Ghosts of the Library. It's beautiful. It's over there. So, guys, we're gonna head into Lincoln's tomb. I think it's closed, but we're still gonna go over there. And well, I hope that you really enjoyed. This is a thrill for me, coming to the presidential libraries. I hope you guys can see the other ones, or both Bushes, Clinton, LBJ, now Lincoln, and hopefully we're gonna head to all of them. So guys, keep subscribe to my channel, share it, like it, comment. Is there any place that you would be interested in seeing? Give me a comment. So until next time, guys, from the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library here in Springfield. All right, guys, we are here at Lincoln's tomb. Maybe about 8 minutes away from the Lincoln Library. And I think it's closed today as far as inside. But we can still see it. And here it is. Lincoln's tomb. It's a shame we can't go inside. But they're telling me I think there's an electrical problem right now. Oh, I see some people coming out. So maybe we can go in.
We can go to the back.
Yeah. Wow. Look at this beautiful tomb. Let's see if we can go inside. All right, so we're gonna go in. Thank you. All right, wow. Hello. All right, guys, so it is opened. It was closed earlier. And as you come in, we have statues of Lincoln inside of this monument. It's very cool inside. It's a little bit warm outside. So,
But the quality of the materials,
oh yeah.
it's marble.
Yeah, this is pretty impressive. All right, so this is Lincoln's tomb. He would be under here. It says right here, his remains rest in a vault 10 feet below, just behind a massive Arkansas marble monument. So, and you have his children here. Eddie, Tad, his wife, Mary Todd. And his son, the one that lived to be an adult, he is in National Cemetery in Arlington. So he didn't die young. Robert Todd Lincoln. I think he actually served as a cabinet member for the president. And more statues, guys. And the great debater. All right, guys, so we just came out of the tomb, and Miss Crispy, one final thing before we go. Tradition since the 1940s is is to touch for good luck Lincoln's nose. So, Miss Crispy, are you gonna touch his nose for good luck? Cool. All right, guys. So this is the end of our journey to Springfield, Illinois. About a 4 hour, no, what, 3 hour?
Yeah.
3 hour.
Sunday. There was no
It's a
traffic.
Sunday, no traffic. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did, coming here. Most of all of this, I've always seen it in books and history books, but to be here at Lincoln's tomb, it's pretty amazing. So we're gonna head off into our next adventure. And well, if you like this channel, subscribe, give it a like, give it a comment, share it. And well, Miss Crispy, what else? See you on our next adventure.
Yes.
See you on our next adventure.